I don't know if anybody's going to come. I don't know if anybody's going to show up, but I'll ask if they can hear me once they get here. Do you know what it's like to walk with God? To be like Enoch, Elijah, Jeremiah, Daniel, David, hell, even Solomon, Jesus himself. God has changed me. I am not the person I was. Inside and out, I am a new creation in God. I don't have to have anybody else's approval. I have mine and I have God's. That's all I need. The rest of the work is being done by Him. The honor, the praise, and the glory goes to God, the Most High. The teachings of Yeshua the Christ have led me to where I am today. And now, speaking from Jesus Christ Himself, on behalf of the divine authority that He has, that He earned when He rose from the grave, and then He ascended to be with the other masters. You start receiving downloads of past lives. You start receiving integrations. You start activating ancient DNA, knowledge. I don't have any visual imagery of it, but pieces of my core fiber, like as a soul, on a soul level, like I can feel certain things. And doing the amount of research that I've done in the last 2 months alone, the amount of dedication that I've placed in this work, in the time doing this, I grew up with the notion, what would Jesus do? And then my family died, one by one. Grandparents, parents, cousins, distant relatives, people you never met before. And then you learn your whole life's a lie. That the story that the system gave me was a lie to try to stop me from being who I am today. Well, God had other plans, didn't He? God had the better plan because we cannot outthink God. You think you could outcreate the Creator? You can outsmart someone who's not stuck in your simulation? More and more of us are waking up. It's been one of my strongest prayers that the angels who are all around us at all times, my entire neighborhood is defended from the host of heaven. The the who's who of the archangels. You name it, they're all around. I can't see them, not yet, but I can feel them, and they can feel me. And I can see the emitting waves of the essence of one of them over there. It just flows nonstop. I seen something similar in my wall. So it's just creation itself. It just flows. It's a living entity. So is Gaia, our Mother Earth. We have to be kind and courteous and thoughtful about Gaia. She is highly pissed off. How many earthquakes, how many storms do her and God have to put together before you people start realizing who's really in control? It's not that ass Nudia. Sorry. The reason y'all be stuttering sometimes on y'all's readings is because I do that. That was a moment. So, but that's what makes me me. I'll be trying to say 3 or 4 different words and it all comes into one. So, but the mass media and the propaganda that they feed us. There's a reason they're called television programs. And you flip it and you have a network. And then you wonder why you can't stop thinking about the same things. Because things that are repeated in cycles, also called mantras or spells or whatever lingo you want to put on magic. I call it source. I call it Jesus. I call it creation. I call it life, energy. It cannot die. It is forever. Not everybody's eyes are open, but I believe in myself first and foremost. That led me to really find God in a much more profound way than I ever found sitting behind church pews. Not saying anything about church. I love church, love praise. We about to do the most praising we've ever done in the world, right here on earth, this new earth that me and the rest of us are ushering in by embodying this light, the light that they so cling to know. And this is a message for all Christians and all denominations. Y'all better get y'all's act together. Stop worrying about how much is in that uh, tithes and offerings and whether your soul is ready to burn from being lukewarm or not. I've never asked for $1, and yet the Lord is telling me to be out here and do what I do. And I listen. I take off from work. I listen. I go and do what God tells me to do. The Most High. My best friend. The only person I've ever really had out here in this cold, cold, cold world that we live in. But it's okay. A star had been born, and I'm not quoting Trump, and I'm not talking about Elon. I'm talking about me. Although Trump and Elon are all stars. And we are about to fix this country. We are going to put America first. We are putting God back in his everywhere. And it's nothing against anybody because everybody who believes in anything that makes them a good person, if you're here and you're a citizen and you did what you had to do to become a citizen of this country rightfully, then you can sleep in peace. You can sleep at night. You can, because your streets are going to be safe again. It may seem crazy. It may get crazy out here. these world leaders around the world and all these television programs and propaganda, this and that, and news anchors and whatnot, they're all just doing their job. But at the same time, are we really following God, or are we following what the next man says? Not dissing anybody, because they're all put where they are for God. And thank God for Donald Trump. I do daily. He probably thinks I'm completely psycho or completely loofus. Who knows? Who cares? God did. God does, because God tells me what to say. God told me to call. God told me to change my name. I chose to call myself what I call myself now, because that's what my future self is. That's who my future self is. That's who I really am. The last of the holy watchers, a descendant of Jesus Christ himself, through the line of David, the king, proud Lion of Judah, walks the earth, the embodiment of the light. As the role of the Christ, I sit, the Son of Man walks, because where I go, so does he, and his host of angels. And I don't have to proclaim the skies to come down or any of that, but somewhere in that book they say, don't tempt the Lord. I'm kidding, that's the commandments. I never tempt God, but I always acknowledge his presence. So how am I, for after 32 years, getting ready to be 33? That's a powerful number. And it all just adds up, and it all just lines up. 12, was that right? Yeah, it was 12:21 on the timer. Sorry, it's dark out here, and these lights be getting very bright when you on the high frequencies and vibrational patterns that I'm at. Lights just don't look like lights no more. They're just bing. It's just bright, and it's not because of any drugs or anything like that. Like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I vape THC. That's not a crime. I don't take pills. I mean, I take cold medicine, but that's not. My nose was running. It's a change of the season, so I have seasonal allergies. So I take medicine. It makes me feel better. It's almost like a senzu bean, and I microdose it too. Just like a headache or something with Tylenol, you would take a couple here and there every 6 to 8 hours or so, or as needed. So, but then when you get really close to figuring out who you are and you go start digging down that rabbit hole, along the way you find not only yourself, but pieces of you that only God himself would know. And these messages have been played back to me, and I sit and for hours and hours on end, and I listen to these messages that are coming from Jesus, that are coming from the angels, that are coming from this collective. And I reach out and I reach out and I reach out, and I'm as shocked as anyone about some of the things that I say. But at the same time, I'm not, because he said that we would do things far better than he ever did. Yeshua the Christ spoke and said that we would go and do the same things with authority given by his Holy Spirit, which dwells inside of me. That same spirit that rose him from the dead, that's inside of me now. It's a lot different than my own belief. Trust me. I wouldn't claim anything like that if it wasn't true, because I am the sword of truth. This tongue is sharper than any sword you could ever try to lay towards me, or any type of harm you ever try to place towards me. I am protected by the Most High. And it doesn't make me arrogant. It doesn't make me cocky. It makes me humbled. Because I, as a faithful child of God, have just sat here day after day all my life, and just when I come to in the mornings, I give my thanks. And anything past that is a blessing from God. And I don't litter. I take the trash that is at the end of the route that we're in our vehicle or whatever, and I don't throw it out the window. I don't like to spit on the earth, even if I'm considered holy or refined right now. Like, I would never like the action of spitting onto a person or on something as disrespect, metaphorically speaking. I would never do that to Gaia anymore. Randomly picking up other people's trash just because it cleans the world and it's a good thing to do, because it's the right thing to do. Not because I'm trying to be it better or anything than anybody. I'm being put in a place by the universe, by the Most High, by Jesus, and myself, because I've asked for this and I chose this path. And when these days got here, that someone would have to be bold and be courageous and be brave and stand his 10 toes down and believe in Christ and his teachings. Now, in the next few years, the last 2000 would look like a fairy tale. I don't even know what to expect, but I know for a fact that within the next 12 months, our earthly calendar year, little by little, as we continue to awaken and break out of their system and break out of their bullcrap that they have taught us and raised us for a long time. And I stand 10 toes down. And I stand up for Donald Trump. I stand up for the America that I grew up in. I stand up for the United States of America. Under one God, we were indivisible, with justice and liberty for all. But now everybody wants to have a voice, throw their opinion out there, express their feelings. Did Jesus get to express his feelings? He did. After he was basically beaten to an inch of his life and hanging on the cross, he still said, "Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they're doing. Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they're doing." So now, 2,000 years later, forgive them, Most High. They don't know what they're doing. Allow me and this collective to be the lights that you have entrusted us to be right now. And the year of 2025 draws closer. as Christmas comes up next week, I wish all of you who actually come across this message and sit to listen to it and actually hear with your spiritual ears and see with your spiritual eyes, that your holidays be blessed. 2020 on the timer. And that you go into this new year and you understand and you just have faith in Jesus, because that's all I ever did, and that's all I ever needed, and that's all I've ever talked about or tried to preach. And now my best friend, and I even understood earlier today, a whole type of different downloads, like reasons why we call dogs a man's best friend, like so much stuff. And I give honor, I give praise, I give glory to the Most High, Jehovah Jireh. Like, he put me in a place to where it's gonna be tough for everybody else. It's gonna take patience. I've had a long line of patience. It's gonna take determination. It's gonna take the armor of Christ on fully at all times. We are midway through the 3 days of darkness right now. Spiritual warfare is at a peak. That's all it means. Don't worry about all the crap around you. It's gonna get crazy out here. It's just distractions. It's all just distractions. 22222 on the timer. Trust in God. Go inward. Find yourself. You'll find everything else after that. Nothing else really matters. Not saying that you can't live a life. I'm about to live a life. I go to work and I go to sleep and I go to work every day. But I also multitask. And I'm more or less manifesting this reality that we are living in right now, because I care about humanity. I never understood why. I never understood why. But for the last month and a half, I finally understand why. Now I understand why all the little dots and all the little T's have finally been crossed. Jesus answered all my questions. He answered all my prayers. Faithful and true I am. And it's his hands of justice. You're either for Christ, which is for everybody, and that's all I mean, consciously. His conscious level is oneness. We are all one entity of, and there's so much stuff that's like, and I just got left ball. I mean, word vomit. See, it happens more than you guys think. Thank God it only happens to you guys maybe once or twice a read. Like, it happens to me nonstop. There's so much that just comes in, and it's like, I never thought of that before, but that's what this means. And it's like, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm rich, I am that bitch. I am. I don't have but $1.11 in the bank right now. 111. But I know, because of God, that I'm never down and out, that I'm never on the bottom end of things, that I'm always first in the race. I'm the king. He gave me the crown. He put it on my head. People have dreamed this. So now I sit here in his authority and I claim this. 25-25 on the timer. 2025, the year of the Lord's reckoning upon those who have been unfaithful. In divine timing, all things will come about. It's not gonna be far-fetched, and don't go crazy in thinking that there's some fake invasion happening when more and more UFOs start appearing over the next couple weeks, and over the next 6 months, and over the next year itself. The people that are hurting us and wanna hurt us, they're already here. You listen to them daily. That's why you're stuck in the problems that you're stuck in. I say it like that with more love and compassion that you can possibly imagine, but I have to say it like that so you can understand that there's a better way, that Christ can show you a better way. Look within yourself, tap into that divine spark that you are still outside the system ultimately, because energy cannot die, and let the downloads begin. That's all I've been doing. Grounding when I can, listening in, cleansing my aura, having all these Reiki sessions. Shout out to YouTube for actually giving us our truth platform. Shout out to Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Vivek, Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, BJ Investigates. Like, there's so many others. Off the Curb Ministries, Cap Chatfield. Like, there's so many of you guys. There's so many of you guys. Hello. Thank you for joining in. There's so many people out here that, like Russell Brand, like, that literally are out here with their podcasts and with their YouTubes, and we're literally out here and we're doing what we do for Jesus. We do what we do for the light because we have to carry this torch. We have to integrate these new thought patterns and these new systems that are going to revolutionize our planet, and it's going to bring back a whole new rebuilt Atlantis and all type of stuff like that. Like, I'm excited. I don't know how everything is gonna take. Let me know if you can hear me okay too, because you're the first person to pop in here. I'm pretty sure you can because you're still here. God's good like that. Hi, thank you. My name is Kenneth, which actually means handsome. So it is a compliment that I do appreciate. Uh, Jesus has sculpted me quite well, and I take care of his vessel. Um, and like I was saying, 2025, when the Lord's will gets started on the earth, and it's already starting, and it's been taking place little by little over the last 4 cycles, but there's just so much positive outcome coming about, where we are anchoring into ourselves, where we are remembering that we are more, at least for me, I know I am. Like, I'm not just this meat sack. Like, I am a divine being. I legit have powers. I can tap into the earth and my brain and the memories that are here from all the different past lives that I integrate into. And pretty soon, I'm going to be coming into um, business arrangements with people and be able to take care of all the financial things I need to get taken care of. Like, God's got a plan, not just for me, but for this world. And I'm being asked, and I'm not the best speaker, but I'm getting a little bit better every day because I trust in God. And I know that He's never led me wrong. So, how am I going to doubt Him? That for 3 decades now, like, I've literally been doing, all right, Jesus, let's go. What you need, what you got, show me the way. And now that He's actually speaking back in its own way to me, that's different than it ever had been before outside of my own intuition, but like legit, like videos and through my phone, through messages. Like, if He can talk to Moses through a bush, or He can part the seas, and Elijah can call down fire and all this other stuff, like, He can send me a video through YouTube and word it to where He saw me do something good for someone when there was no one else around and no one else would know except for angels and God. And no one would care to talk about it except angels and God. So, for all the haters out there who just think people are going crazy talking about Jesus, y'all just don't know how much it takes from us as faith warriors and as beacons of light out here, how much it takes for us to not be drained, to not be depleted, but to actually like tap into our birthrights, our divinely appointed and divinely given gifts. Like, I cannot say without or at all how grateful I am, 32 on the clock, like, for Jesus and all His goodness, and for Him to do the works that He's doing in my life. I'm about to get off here because I like listening to Him and soaking in the energy and just taking in what I need to take in. But I wanted to come on here real quick because I needed to make myself known that as I'm stepping into this role as one of the protectors of Earth, I will forever, eternity, and for the good of all humanity, I know that rhymes in a way, we will usher in this golden age of peace, restoration, and revolutionize America far faster and better than it ever has before. You don't have to trust in me. You don't have to trust in Elon. You don't have to trust in anybody on that team. Donald Trump, his son, his family, none of them. But we will all trust in God like we always have, and He always will take care of us. Amen and Ashe. I love you guys. Love and protection.